Hello students, today I am going to start class 6 social science geography chapter 4 reading maps. As you know students, our chapter name is reading maps. Firstly, I want to ask you some question related with this chapter. Do you heard about maps before? Do you know anything about maps? For example students, if I ask that where do you live? Do you know? Which direction is your house? Do you know? What do you see on the way to school from your home? Do you know? Which direction is your school? Do you know? If you know everything, then you will reply correctly. And if you reply this on paper to someone, then this is called map. Suppose when we travel somewhere by train or by bus, so firstly, what we have to see? Firstly, we have to see that place is located in which direction and how much far is from our place. If we want to go by road, then we need road maps. If we want to go by train, that we need railway maps. Map reading and map drawing are important skills to learn in geography. Maps also help us to know distances so that we know how far away one thing is from another. We need to be able to estimate distances on major because all maps show the earth or regions within it as a much smaller size than their real size. In simple definition, if we say that map is a representation of a place. Okay students. Now, what is our content in this chapter? Our content is globe, map, elements of a map, types of maps, atlas, then sketch and then plan. Firstly, we are going to start from globe. Our first topic is globe. Have you seen globe? What is globe? A globe is the only representation of the earth that does not distort either the shape or the size of large features, land masses, bodies of water, etc. The Earth's circumference is quite close to 40 billion meters. You know students, globes are versatile. They can be used in any grade and they are relevant in many fields of learning. A globe will allow students to learn about different countries. It helps students to learn the mountain ranges, natural resources, and the effect that the climate has on different locations. On the other hand, a globe represents Earth as if you were looking at it from outer space. A globe is a sphere that shows the relative size and shapes of Earth's land features and waters. You know students that globe provides us a clear idea of the Earth's shape. It clearly shows latitudes and longitudes. Without globes, no one would know what the Earth really looks like. and they would know what the earth really looks like because they are based on globes. The advantage of globe is that it is the smaller representation of our world. It helps us to read the various locations, vegetations, etc. It gives a better idea of parallels, latitudes and meridians, longitudes. It helps us to understand how day and night occur and seasons are caused. It also gives the idea of tilt of the earth axis. So this is globe. Now our next topic is map. What is map? A drawing or plan of the surface of the earth that shows countries, river, mountains, roads, etc. A map is a symbolic representation of selected characteristics of a place, usually drawn on a flat surface. Maps present information about the world in a simple visual way. They teach us about the world by showing sizes and shapes of countries. A common understanding of a map is one that is a flat or 3D representation of a location. Maps. Map is a representation of Earth's surface or a part of it on a flat surface, drawn according to a scale. It can be drawn on a piece of paper, a board, or a wall. Maps are made in different sizes and can show any place on the earth. For example, we can make maps of the whole world, a country, a city, or even a village. A scale is the ratio of the distance between two places in the map to the actual distances between them on the earth. The different features of the earth are marked on the map with the help of certain symbols, words, lines, and colors, which are called legends. You know, students, maps first appeared on cave walls, mammoth tusks, and clay tablets. Then explorers drew maps on paper as we began to understand the shape of our world. Today we use Geographic Information System, that is called GIS, that combine complex maths and visualization, allows us to plan, understand and connect us to what matters. Most people know how GPS works. It finds your location and you tell it where you want to go. GPS is very good getting you to that next location, but it doesn't tell you anything about the places that you are planning along the way. A map is a drawing of all or part of Earth's surface. Its basic purpose is to show where things are. Map shows visible features such as rivers and lakes, forests, buildings, roads, etc. Most maps are drawn on a flat surface. A map displayed on a round surface is called a globe. A map appears to be simple, but only a few really know their importance. Maps make sense of otherwise confusing data and helps provide a better understanding of the world. Maps are one of the most important tools on earth. Each and every map has a purpose and gives specific information about a place. Maps are useful for everyone. Now, what we have learned about the globe and maps. Maps are useful for everyone. Maps are useful for students. The information provided by the maps is easy to understand than the written information. Pilots, sailors, engineers, and many professionals depend on various types of maps for their information. The science of map making is known as cartography. A person who draws map is called a cartographer. Now students, what we have learned about the maps and about the globes. What is the difference? A globe represents the whole earth, whereas a map represents the whole earth or just a part of it. A globe can be used to get a broad level picture of the world, while map provides more specific information about different places. A globe being spherical in shape spins around an axis. However, a map being a representation on a piece of paper does not spin. A globe is made of hard material and cannot be folded. This makes it difficult to be carried around. Unlike maps, which are drawn on paper and can be easily folded and carried around. A globe is a three-dimensional scale model of Earth. A map is a visual representation of an area. Now there is cardinal direction. Now what is cardinal direction? Now our next topic is cardinal directions. Directions are clearly marked on the maps like north, south, east and west. If you see on map, north is always at the top, south is always at the bottom, east is to the right, west is to the left. These four directions are called the cardinal points. Generally, we use a compass to find the direction of a place. The needle of a magnetic compass always points in the north-south direction. In between the cardinal points, north, south, east and west, we have the intermediate directions: northeast, southeast, southwest and northwest. On a map, you will see an arrow with the letter N printed above it. The arrow points in the north direction and is called the north line. The first thing to note in a map is the direction. The top of a map shows the north direction, while the bottom of a map shows the south direction. Towards the right is the east and the west lies towards the left. The point between the north and the west is the northwest, while the point between the north and the east is the northeast. There are lots of interesting ways to find directions. Students, you have heard this also, I think, that if we face the rising sun, so when we face the rising sun in the morning, it is east, and opposite to east is our west. The left hand points toward the north and the right hand points toward the south. And with the help of magnetic compass, it is very useful for finding direction at a place. This is a small circular box with a magnetic needle inside it. The needle of the compass always points in the north-south direction. Compass has been used by travelers and sailors since ages. And you know, students, with the help of pole star also, in earlier days, many peoples, navigators, they also used to find the direction. Pole star is always located above the North Pole and hence indicates the north direction. Now, components of a map. First is title. What is title? The title tells us what is being represented on the map. Map's title is an element in a map layout that describes the theme or subject of a map. The map title should instantly give the viewers a good idea of what the map is describing. Next is compass rose. A compass rose, sometimes called a wind rose or rose of the winds, is a figure on a compass map. Nautical chart or monument used to display the orientation of the cardinal directions and their intermediate points. Next is symbols. A symbol is a mark, sign or word that indicates, signifies or is understood as representing an idea, object or relationship. Next is legend or key. Every map has a key or a legend at the bottom of the map to explain the symbols and colors used in the map. Next is colors. Colors stand out from the map and provide an identification to many features such as vegetation and water. Color represents natural man-made features of the earth. Then scale. A scale is a set of level or numbers which are used in a particular system of measuring things or are used when comparing things. Then last is grid reference. Grid references define location in maps. Location in maps. Grid lines on maps define the coordinate system and are numbered to provide a unique reference to each location on the map. Now next is elements of a map. Elements of a map, what is? Scale, direction and distance. Scale, direction and distance are called elements of map. Now what is a scale? Firstly we will see what is scale. Scale can be defined as the ratio between a given distance on a map and the actual distance on the Earth's surface. One part of the scale shows the distance on the map, while the other part shows the actual distance on the surface of the Earth. Visual representation of a map scale is called a linear scale. Scale in a map is expressed as a simple statement such as 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer. This means that 1 centimeter on a map represents 1 kilometer on the Earth's surface. It can also be stated in another way as a ratio such as 1,50,000. It means that one unit on a map represents 50,000 of the same units on the surface of the earth. Next is distance. Every small unit on a map represents some distance on actual ground. So we use a scale to correctly represent the surface of earth on a map. Now students, our next topic is direction. Already I have explained about cardinal direction. Now let's see directions. In map generally have an arrow or a line with N written on top. This north line indicates the north direction. Once we know the north, all other direction can be understood. By seeing the north line on the map of India, we can observe that Himalayas lie in the north of India. Already I have told you that we can find out the direction with the help of a compass. A compass is an instrument having a magnetic needle which always points to the north. Now, our next topic is Ptolemy. Ptolemy, who was he? Ptolemy was an astronomer and mathematician. He believed that the earth was the center of the universe. His famous work was called the Almagesti. Ptolemy projected the earth as a sphere and the measurements of the globe on a flat paper. He was the first person who measures the globe on a flat paper. Okay. Next person is Jodocus Hondius. Jodocus Hondius, he was a Flemish engraver and cartographer. Hondius is best known for his early maps of the New World and Europe. He was the first person who drew a map of Europe and New World. He was a Dutch cartographer. He helped Mercator to make first attempt to publish a collection of maps in the form of a book in a history. Next is Gerardus Mercator. Gerardus Mercator, he explored Flanders and made globes about the earth and the sky. He became one of the best map makers in the 16th century. Students, he was the first person who made globe. Remember it. Now, our next topic is sign and symbols. Why we use sign and symbols in map? Do you know, students? Because we cannot possibly show different features like a tree, a mountain, railway line or bridge, etc. in their actual shape or size on a map. To represent their features, we use some symbols. These symbols help us to understand maps better. The symbols which are internationally accepted and used all over the world are called conventional symbols. Some features are depicted by using certain colors. Water bodies are shown in blue color, snow in white color, plains in green, highlands in yellow, and mountains in brown. There is a great importance of symbols and conventional sign in a map. We know that the map is a small representation of a huge area, but we cannot depict all the features of an area in their actual size and shape. That's why you use different symbols to represent different features on a map. If we see conventional symbols, what are they? What are the conventional symbols? Conventional symbols are common signs that are universally accepted. These symbols represent feature so that we can understand easily. These symbols make map reading easy by providing relevant informations. Besides, they act like a special language that can help anyone looking at a top to understand the geography of a place. Legends define the types of features shown on a map. It is a standard practice to use blue for water bodies, green for vegetation, brown for physical features, and black for names. It is also given in your book, students, in page number 36. If you will see, it is given there. You can see the symbols and you can easily understand what are the symbols showing. Next topic is map based on scale. Map based on scale. There are two maps which is based on scale: large scale maps and small scale maps. Maps are largely divided into two broad categories: large scale maps and small scale maps. Large scale maps and small scale maps. Firstly, we will see small scale maps. These maps shows larger area with lesser detail, such as a wall map. Here the scale used in large. Atlas have small scale maps. So a scale that represent a larger area would be a small scale map. A map of India on a wall map or even in an atlas would be a small scale map. Small scale map. When a large area is shown on a small map, such a map is called a small scale map. These maps show a large area with less details. For examples, map of a country or a state. Our next topic is large scale. A large map, it covers only a small area, but it shows a lot of detail from that area. When a small area such as a village is shown on a map, such a map is called a large scale map. A map of a neighborhood is an example of large scale map. A large scale map gives more details compared to a small scale map. Every map has its title. The title tells you what a map is showing. A map of the streets in your town would have your town's name as its title. You know, students, these types of maps shows small area in greater detail. In this map, use a smaller scale. For example, 1 centimeter is equal to 10 kilometer. All topographic maps are known as large scale maps. These maps show relief and other natural features such as river, lake, forest, as well as human-made features, roads, cities, bridges, etc. Tourist maps are also known as large-scale maps.